What up, Multiplex? Another episode of Multiplex Loves Movies, episode number 16 coming at you. This is going to be a fun show. I'm excited for this one. We're going to talk a lot about Disney Plus. That was in the headline, so you should be ready for that. We're going to break it down for you, everything Disney Plus. But before that, we're going to talk about some other stuff in movie news that we wanted to get to. So first off, hi guys. Happy Disney Plus Day. Cody, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a little under the weather, but I had the day off and I spent it on Disney Plus all day. So it was a great time.
That's what I did.
And Margaret, I haven't seen you in a bit. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Fantastic. Great. Okay. So every week, if you've never seen the show before, every week we start off with the box office. So we're going to jump into the box office right away. Coming in at number one this weekend at the box office was Midway with 17 million. That was a new release. And number two, Dr. Sleep, also a new release with 14 million. Playing with Fire, that new film with John Cena, coming in at number 3 with 12 million. Last Christmas, coming in at number 4 with 11 million, and Terminator: Dark Fate at number 5, dropping a huge 62% to make 10 million. 4 out of the 5 of these movies are new releases. Maggie, what do you have to say about the box office? Any surprises here from you?
I'm honestly kind of surprised that Midway is number 1, to be completely honest. But looking at the other titles, I'm not sure what would have been number 1. I mean, I guess maybe Dr. Sleep could have done better. I think the thing about that, though, is like it's November 12th, and that's technically a horror movie. So I think that maybe people were kind of off the spooky train. Plus, it's long as fuck, so that kind of makes it hard for some people. The fact that Playing with Fire did 12 million is disgusting.
Yeah.
But that makes sense because it's a kids movie and there's not a whole lot of other kids things out right now. I think the fact that Terminator is still in the top 5, even though I do see 62% is a lot to drop by. But it's still sort of hung on there. I guess Last Christmas is only at 11. I don't know if that's because it just wasn't marketed or if it's because it is, again, November 12th. So, like, people are not necessarily wanting to go out and see a Christmas movie in the theater yet. I hope it hangs in there into the Christmas season a little bit more, but we will see.
Yeah, for me, it does come down to the fact that Midway coming in at number 1 is a big surprise. Mm-hmm. I don't think the amount it made was a big surprise. I think 17 million is about what I was expecting for a movie like that. The fact that Dr. Sleep was so low at 14 million, because the word of mouth on this movie is awesome. We reviewed it last week. It's great. The movie's awesome. So it's definitely worth seeing, and the reviews have been fantastic. Just nobody went to see it. And there was even a report earlier today or yesterday that Warner Brothers was hoping to do a third film, a sequel. They had it planned, and it's looking like it's not going to happen because it looks like this movie is going to, cost Warner Brothers quite a bit of money in the end. Cody, did you see any of these new movies? If not, are you surprised about anything here?
I mean, the overall box office is 17, like the highest is 17 million. So it's everybody's saving some money. There's a lot of big titles coming and a lot of people are not going. I think Dr. Sleep struggles by the release. I think November's a stupid release for Dr. Sleep. I think, why did you not attack September, October?
Mm-hmm.
Midway doesn't surprise me. It's number 1 because it is literally a war movie, and nothing drives the older generations to movies than you put war movie out there, and it will literally make around the 20 million range. So I didn't hear any movie that was really great, and I haven't seen The Shining that soon. Like, I didn't rewatch it, so I didn't want to go see Dr. Sleep without watching it first. So That's why I didn't see that. And Last Christmas, I think, is a terrible release point. I also don't think Doctor Sleep will miss a sequel because maybe they'll just do a streaming service like movie for it instead of the big screen. And then I think maybe Doctor Sleep should have done that route too. There's some movies that I think don't need theatrically released films anymore. I mean, I don't know. You saw it, so you can tell me if the theater experience was just way better. But sometimes some of those movies just would benefit being released on a Netflix, a Hulu, HBO, stuff like that.
I mean, I think Doctor Sleep itself benefited from being a theatrical release, but I don't know what the sequel would have been. Without spoiling anything, the way they wrap up Doctor Sleep, I could see how they could do another movie, but I wouldn't want to see it personally.
Right.
Like, I would go and see it, but it's not something that I'm clamoring for at the moment. Another thing that's interesting, Jojo Rabbit keeps going up in the box office. It's now at number 11. It's gone up another 69% as it keeps getting into more theaters, made almost 4 million. Parasite, same deal. It only went up another 2.1%, but it's getting added to theaters. More people are seeing it. Another surprising, or not surprising thing at all, but just a kind of funny thing. Some movies that came out in the last couple of weeks that have just completely disappeared. Motherless Brooklyn has dropped down to 14, made 2 million. I think that's pretty hilarious considering the push that I think it was Warner Brothers. I think Warner Brothers did that film.
Yes, it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah, that they were pushing it. I feel like it's Warner Brothers. I can't say for sure, but
it is. I'm telling you. Oh,
you're saying it is. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, then yes, Warner Brothers. What are you doing? But anyway, so that's the box office. This next story is so this James Dean thing. I think we've all heard about it. This actually broke probably like the day after we did the show last week, I think. But basically what happened is there's a movie being made. Couldn't tell you the name of the movie. I'm reading the article now. I think it's called I don't know. I can't even tell, and I don't care enough to look. But the director of the film, who's making this film, said, "Hey, I searched far and wide for the perfect person to be in the film, and we're gonna choose a guy who's been dead for 65 years." Here's the actual quote. "We searched high and low for the perfect character to portray the role of Rogan, which has some extreme complex character arcs. And after months of research, we decided on James Dean. We feel very honored that his family supports us and will take every precaution to ensure that his legacy as one of the most epic film stars to date is kept firmly intact. The family views this as his fourth movie, a movie he never got to make. We do not intend to let his fans down." I'm going to start. This is so stupid. I can't believe how dumb this is. And I know there are other reports later in the week that came out that I'm not the only one who feels this way. I'm sure I'm not the only one at this table who feels this way. But to say that you searched far and wide and there is not a single actor on this planet who could portray this supporting character role in your movie is bullshit, because clearly you're going to find an actor who's good enough to do James Dean's voice and who kind of looks like him, and then you're going to enhance it with CGI. So find an actor who can play the part. I don't buy that you searched high and low for an actor and you said, and then one day just went, you know who'd be great? James Dean. Are you fucking kidding me? This is so stupid. Cody, I'll let you ramble about this next. I know you've got opinions.
This just makes me sick, honestly, because, like, who's next? Robin Williams? Like, I don't want them to. It's kind of a respect for the person's passed away. Like, just because. So, for example, if my wife were to pass away tomorrow and put cast in a movie, just because I passed the rights to say, sure, she could do it, doesn't mean she would want it. Like, we're not even taking that into account, and saying you search high and low for a dead actor that's been gone for 65 years is just stupidity at this point. movies have done it, like Grand Moff Tarkin and Rogue One. I think that's a reason, but it's blocked. You had to put him in there, but like to put some high low to use a dead actor, I feel it's creepy. I don't feel like there's any reason behind you're going for it, and it's
yeah.
It sounds totally against it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, couldn't agree more. Maggie, Cody actually brought up a point that you've got a Grand Moff Tarkin thing from Rogue One, but even that didn't turn out well. People did not like that. What do you think this is in the end? Do you think this is actually going to happen?
Honestly, no. I don't think so. I think that the studio is going to realize that they're being stupid and that the public doesn't want to see it, and that's going to cost way more money to do this than to cast a very capable actor. Because like you said, my biggest issue is the fact that they said, we searched everywhere and we couldn't find somebody, and you're telling me that the character has deep character arcs, so you're going to make a computer do the deep character arcs? It's going to look terrible. We saw that in The Lion King. Like, you can't make a computer have emotion, at least not yet. And so I can't imagine that this movie is high profile enough for the studio to greenlight that choice after the reaction that has happened.
Yeah, and Sony couldn't even make a double of Will Smith with CGI look good in Gemini Man. How are we going to recreate a whole nother person? I think it's stupid. I think everyone agrees. And we'll probably leave it at that. But before we get into the main topic of the day, which is all Disney Plus stuff, we're going to skip ahead, and look at the movies coming out next week. And just kind of quick talk about those, which we would normally do at the end of every show, but we want to save as much time as possible to talk about our Disney Plus stuff. So 3 movies coming out. The first one is one that I have zero desire to see. I hope I don't go see it, but who knows? I'm a wild boy. That's Charlie's Angels. Maggie, are you going to see this film?
If you make me. I'm not necessarily against it, because some of the early reviews I saw was that it's not terrible, but the trailer is bad, and I've never seen any of the other ones, so I have no investment in the franchise. I like Kristen Stewart, and I like Elizabeth Banks, and isn't Naomi Scott in this too?
Naomi Scott, yeah.
And so I like a lot of the actresses and Patrick Stewart, but it's not something that I'm going to make the time to see if there's no time to see it.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense. Cody, you came back just in time. Charlie's Angels, you seeing it or no?
I didn't know this movie was coming out.
You're muted. Oh, there you go. No, you're good. There you go.
I didn't know this movie was coming out. It started popping up, and I was like, what the hell? No. I didn't like the original. I didn't care to ever check out what the TV show was. If it's good, maybe I'll check it out. But I have no appeal on this franchise or where it's going. The trailers have not grabbed me, so no thanks. Yeah,
it has a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So not the worst thing in the world. Not the best thing, though. And actually, the next movie that we're going to talk about is 68%, The Good Liar. This is a film starring Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren. I'm actually interested in this movie. I think it looks pretty wild, actually. The trailers have given it this vibe that I'm actually kind of into. And it's directed by Bill Condon, who did Beauty and the Beast and Mr. Holmes. And so he's worked with Ian McKellen a couple times, so he knows Ian McKellen really well. I think this could be interesting from the trailers. It looks like we're just kind of getting like a badass, like assassin-y, like Ian McKellen. I'm into that. Okay, and Helen Mirren looks great. Cody, you interested in this one at all?
Yeah, it's if it comes to my theater, the problem is where I live, I don't get the chance to go see a ton of things. So it sounds like I'm gonna catch it on streaming because it's not projected to come to my theater right now. But I really like the two. I like Helen Mirren and I love Ian McKellen, so like I'll give it a shot. Like what did you say, Mr. Holmes? Was that it? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Mr.
that
Holmes.
later. I saw that later when it came out, and I really liked it. So I mean, I'll try. It doesn't seem like one that I pay for, but it would be one that I wouldn't mind, seeing. So yeah.
Absolutely. And Maggie, how do you feel about
it's definitely something that I'm interested in. I think the trailers have been really good, especially this last trailer sort of hinted at the fact, because the first trailers made it really seem like Ian McKellen is going to be playing Helen Mirren. And this last trailer really made it seem like she's not falling for that, and it's really going to be sort of a war between them. And actually, my uncle saw the movie already, and he posted about it on Facebook, and he said that he really enjoyed it, which makes me think that I will as well. So it's definitely one that I will prioritize over Charlie's Angels.
Dope. And the last one, which is the one I'm the most excited about this weekend, technically from Disney, it's a Fox film, Ford versus Ferrari. I'm so excited to see this movie. I think the performances are probably going to be the highlight here from what I understand. Christian Bale and Matt Damon going not head to head, but kind of in the Oscar race at this point. Yeah, at the Oscar race, though, it sounds like they're both going for Best Actor. So clearly there's something great here. This is from James Mangold, who did Logan, Walk the Line. So he's also directed Night and Day. So he's had a couple misses, but his last few movies have been spot on for me. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. Cody, are you going to make the time to see this one?
It's coming to my theater, so I will check this one out. I think Vail is one of those actors now that brings people to theaters just by the name. I think he's a fantastic. He's going to bring everything he possibly can, and I love Matt Damon. Matt Damon has not always picked the best work, but he's honestly one of the better actors out there. So and James Mangold with Logan, I'm really interested to see. It doesn't sound like a concept that I would really care about any other time because I'm not like a big car person, but put those two in the star, and like Matt Damon acts better when he's put up against somebody that's better or just as talented as him. So I'm really excited to see that play back and forth. So yeah, I will definitely make time to see this one.
Maggie?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm gonna see it. It's an Oscar contender. I'm gonna be there. Love me some Matt Damon, love me some Christian Bale. So it's gonna be good. Is it long? I feel like I heard that it's long.
2 hours and 33 minutes long. It is a bit of a lengthy one.
It is a bit of a lengthy one, but I am a sucker and will do what you tell me to. So I must go see a 2.5-hour movie.
Dope. And then a week later, we get to see The Irishman.
Right, I know. Yep, that's what I was thinking about.
3.5 hours, baby.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to the main thing. So here's the deal. Lots of stories have come out about Disney Plus the last week or so in the anticipation of the lead up. I want to hit on a couple of those. We'll talk about our overall thoughts today. The three of us spent the day pretty much head first up Disney's ass. And so it's going to be, I hope, a great discussion. First couple things that were brought up. Kevin Feige this week says, if you want to stay up to date with the MCU, you got to watch Disney Plus. I think this makes sense. It kind of sucks for those casual fans who just kind of want to go see the movies and don't really care about anything else. But when you're getting Wanda in Doctor Strange 2, but then she's also going to be in WandaVision, and then you're going to get Falcon and Winter Soldier, but they'll show up in an Avengers movie, you can see how that could be a problem. Do either of you see this being an issue for fans? Maggie, does this bother you? Because I know you're kind of like, oh, it's a lot of content. Like,
So my thing with that is that like we were watching the expanding the universe like 12-minute thing they did where it basically was like a recap of the panel that they did at San Diego Comic-Con talking about all the Disney Plus stuff. And I see what Kevin Feige was saying in terms of TV shows are an easier way to expand the universe and explore things that they would not otherwise be able to explore in movies. And in terms of personally, I'm not worried about missing anything because I know that we are shills and that you are a hardcore fan and I am like a semi-hardcore fan. So like we're gonna watch it all and we're gonna be up to date. But I could see how for someone like your dad or my dad, where they enjoy the movies, but they are not gonna spend the time watching all these shows, especially on a streaming service, that would be the only thing that they watch. And then they're going to go into the next Avengers movie and they're going to be completely lost if it really is that critical to the story. Whether or not that actually happens is obviously debatable because a lot of it seems like it may not be. So I don't know. I'm torn about it. I am nervous because it does seem like a lot. It seems like they're biting off a lot with that plus all these other movies that they've announced. And I hope that it doesn't drown them. But like you said, you remember when they announced all these other movies for phase 3 and we were like, oh geez, I don't know, man. But I mean, stuff got pushed, stuff got moved around, but it still all happened and at relatively high quality. So we'll see.
Cody, you, I feel like, are a pretty big Marvel fan, but might be in a little bit of the you go to see the movies a couple times, then you kind of put them to bed until they come out on Blu-ray. You watch them again, and then maybe that's it. Whereas, like we're sitting over here watching the movies 8 to 10 times in the theater, and then 1,000 times on Blu-ray. Is this going to be something that you think fans are going to be okay with? They're going to avidly watch these shows over and over again to get pumped for these movies because there's more shows than movies in phase 4, it seems like. Do you think this is a good move?
Do I think it's a good move? No. Do I think it's the smartest business move? Yes. Basically, Disney is Apple at this point. So, well, the reason why I say that is when Apple makes changes to the iPhone and people hate that change, they're like, okay, they'll switch back. No, Apple doesn't care. You either buy the phone or you don't. I don't really care. Same thing with this product. They're like, how do I get everybody to sign up for my streaming service? Okay, I'll take the things that made the $1 billion at the box office every time in the last 2 years and make it exclusively on Disney Plus. If you're going to catch up, you're going to pay my $6.99. If you're not, then you'll go see it still in the theaters because you like the idea of the name of it. I don't believe it's the smartest move because there's still people that say, peace, whatever, I don't want it. But hats off to them because, I mean, it's a bold strategy. I think there's a lot of content. I'm the same way. I don't watch them religiously like some people of my friend group in here. Like, you've seen in-game. I think you've logged in-game like 20 times. We talked about them on call one time since it's come out.
I think like 11. But still, it's a lot.
It's an impressive amount. Like I've seen it 3 times, and like I'm comfortable with the 3 times I've seen it. I'll probably watch it. I watch it every year, give or take. I rewatch, but no, like I think there's a lot of content. But once we talk more about Disney Plus, I think Disney Plus is one of the greatest. In the first day, awful. I think it's a bold strategy, but I think it's going to pay off for them actually.
Absolutely. Something else kind of Marvel related. Endgame was originally supposed to come out on Disney Plus later in December, but they struck a deal, made something happen. I don't know, that they were able to pull it on today for launch day. It also included some deleted scenes that we've never seen before, including a scene with Catherine Langford, I believe, from 13 Reasons Why. She plays, I believe, Morgan Stark in the scene. I haven't watched it. I heard the scene it wasn't a great scene. It made sense why it was cut, but it's kind of a cool nugget. So go check that out if you're interested. Other things, Disney Plus. I think this is a bullshit report, but there's a report going around that Disney Plus has launched with only 3%, or before it even launched, Disney Plus is to launch with 3% the amount of subscribers as Netflix.
Netflix currently?
Exactly.
Because I remember when Netflix launched their streaming service, and I feel like one of very few people that actually watched it because it was trash when it first launched. Like, it took forever for Netflix to develop into the amount of people that it has now.
Yeah, and so I think it's funny. Well, and not only that, but we talked earlier on a different episode, or on a different quick click video, that they didn't even let people pre-buy it all the way. Like, people who were part of the Disney fan clubs got to do it. Certain other people got to do it, but not everybody got to do it. And so, like, yeah, no shit. Like, it's gonna, when it launches, and then a bunch of people are gonna sign up. So it's a dong take. Whoa, look at that. It's dumb, but yeah, I think that's a garbage take. Disney Plus to launch with just 3% as many subscribers. Like, give me a break. And then the last thing before we actually talk about what we watched today and everything, which I think is hilarious. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but George Lucas made another edit to Star Wars just for Disney Plus. Did you guys hear about this? You know what it is?
It's the Han and
Han Solo thing.
The scene, yeah. Greedo, yeah. I don't know what it is though.
Now they're shooting.
I don't know what it is either.
Now they shoot at the same
time. Oh.
Yeah.
Controversy over.
No, not over. It's stupid. But anyway, it's just I just think it's dumb, and I don't know why people like have to make this such a big deal, but it is. Okay, let's get into it. Guys, Disney Plus is a beautiful creation given to us by our Maggie.
I have a quick question, sorry, about the Star Wars. Is the Star Wars on there the original cuts, or is it the DVD cuts? Okay. I couldn't remember which one it was, but I thought I would.
Yeah.
I haven't watched them yet.
Fans would love the originals.
Well, that's why I was like, people would like that a lot more, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we'll see. Yes. Disney Plus is a beautiful creation given to us by the heavens, by beautiful Mr. Iger, and all of the wonderful people at Disney, who I will forever shill out and have no shame saying it. Let's just talk about our favorite things we watched today. If you guys haven't seen, we did a video, me and Maggie did a kind of walkthrough tutorial video of the app itself. That is up on the channel right now. I believe it's the featured video on the channel right now, so go check that out. It's about 10 minutes long. We just discuss the functionality of the app and everything about that, kind of a walkthrough tutorial if you are new to it. So go check that out. But yeah, I love this thing. I think the best thing that I watched today that I enjoyed the most is clearly probably The Mandalorian. Even though we reviewed it and we've all said like, it was good, but we're excited for more. I think just like in terms of like scope of what this app could offer, this is cool. If this is what we're gonna get with Marvel shows, I'm into it. I'm excited. I'm pumped. So there was a lot of good stuff I watched today, but as far as like overall, that would be it. And I believe me and Maggie actually watched every original thing on there except for some do-it-yourself make.
Oh yeah, the kids craft DIY show thing.
Yeah, we didn't watch that one, but we watched everything else. So Maggie, what was your favorite thing you watched today?
Well, so I just want to say nothing was actively bad, which I think is a good step, a first step. Though obviously the series have potential to become actively bad. I actually really liked Lady and the Tramp. I think part of it was the fact that I watched the original last night, so I was really into like comparing them and like into it today when we watched it. The Mandalorian was also good, but it was very piloty. Like it's episode number 1, so I had to choose the feature length film over that. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Cody, what was your favorite thing you watched today?
Jeff Goldblum. Give me more Goldblum. Floyd Andrews said it on live today. I know nothing about sneakers. And after this video, I still know nothing about sneakers. But Jeff Goldblum, I am so pumped with it. He literally, there's a scene in this where he has to run and hit this thing perfectly, and he just bops like as a weird guy. It's 30 minutes. It's no one's life is wasted by watching this 30 minutes. It is literally a fun time. There's literally a negotiation scene that happens, and he makes it the most like intense thing ever because like, oh, this is intense. I don't know what's happening. Like, so funny. I think it's gonna be one of those shows that I like, just a quick 30 minutes that I can pop in and just watch him talk about. I don't know where he's going next, but I'd like him to talk about board games and yo-yos. Yeah, ice cream.
Ice cream is next.
And then Denim, I know, is an episode.
I'm so pumped.
They had a few.
Him eating ice cream sounds fantastic. I don't know, but it's going to be great.
Also, like, when it was doing, like, the YouTube thing of the unboxing, it had all of the names of all of the episodes on the side, like, as the recommended for you videos. So if you go back and look at that. I also really appreciated how at the end, right before he was about to unbox his shoes, he said some deep stuff about consumerism. And I was like, whoa, okay. But
then he the guy that reveals shoes, he's like, this is what I normally do with my intro. It does not even close to the same intro. It does this little tap on the box. Like, he's so zany, and I love every bit of it. But The Mandalorian was great. I do say that. I am excited. This makes me more excited because the WandaVision and Winter Soldier and Falcon, like, I can trust the quality of what's coming. Like, I felt like we might go a step back because the MCU has so much money poured into it. Are they going to do that for the TV show? And looks like they're sharing. They're going to spend what they're going to spend. So it's exciting.
So according to IMDb, I don't want to get anyone too excited. But according to IMDb, at some point later today, Ice Cream is going to drop. It says November 12th is the first 2 episodes. I just looked. It's not up there yet. But then it says that episode 3 is going to be Tattoos. And that's coming on the 22nd.
Oh, so we has the release dates. Let's get on that, baby.
And then Denim is going to be the 14th of December. And then Barbecue will be episode 6. So,
oh my God.
So it's only 6 episodes?
That's what it's looking like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm the saddest human being ever if it's only 6 episodes, but it's okay for season 1. I hope he keeps doing it again. It was a quality time. And I'm with Maggie. Nothing was actively bad. Like, nothing I watched and I was just like, this is a waste of my life. No, it was all, I enjoyed pretty much everything I watched. I haven't seen the Noelle movie yet. Like, that's the one I have not
seen. Did you watch
seen.
High School Musical?
Oh, no, I will not watch that. Absolutely.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's something you're gonna like.
Yeah, we watched.
I didn't like the movies at all. I think they're awful. But
this is that.
Right, so that's why I saved Maggie from being mad at me by saying it was trash or garbage or something like that because she hates what I mean. So I just avoided it for Maggie's sake. So
I appreciate it.
I got you.
Maggie, what did you think about High School Musical?
I thought that it was very Disney Channel-y, show-y. Like, it definitely was appealing to that group of people, and I'm no longer in that group of people. However, I will continue to watch it because I'm slightly intrigued, and we'll see what happens. This episode did have a new original song, so I'm wondering how many more of those we're going to get. And obviously it's very paint by the numbers, like, you know where it's going, but Yeah.
Can you explain the plot of this to Cody, please? Because I want him to understand.
Okay. Well, so the basic, is it's the high school where they filmed High School Musical, the movies, and so they're doing a production of High School Musical, and like it starts, and the main characters like had just broke up, and I was like, I wonder who's gonna be cast as Troy and Gabriella, and then there's like it's like announced, and this girl got a new boyfriend, and he's also trying out for Troy, and then the first episode, it was like the auditions, and the ex-boyfriend showed up last minute just like Troy did to audition, and he auditioned and he got the lead just like Troy did in the movie. And obviously the girl got Gabriella, and then there's this other girl who like is a new student, and she's like all competitive and stuff, and there's this random like science teacher who's being all negative, so he's obviously gonna fall in love with the drama teacher who is a female. So it's very predictable, but we'll see what happens.
But you're intrigued.
I'm intrigued, honestly.
I'm not gonna lie. Go ahead.
So I don't know where you're leading. But last night, like me and Tim, it was like 12 o'clock. I think it was like right as soon as the app dropped. We all talked about it. It was like, is Disney available? And then we looked and we downloaded it, and we like started looking through the stuff. And I know how much Disney has. Like I know how much content Disney could. I just did not fathom how much was put into this stuff. Like the 90s and 2000s side of me was so happy scrolling through and seeing how much content is still there, from like Lizzie McGuire to like the Recess to the X-Men animated series. There is something on this app for every single person. Oh, yeah. And I think you guys covered it in your review, and I think it's the coolest part. Through the decades of on the search is one of the coolest features ever. So you can literally see how Disney expands and goes throughout the years, and I think it's so cool. This app is literally my favorite thing.
For the record, High School Musical, the series, updates every Friday as well. Just so
I'll put my reminder on my phone.
It looks like Goldblum is also going to be on Friday.
So maybe everything's going to be on Fridays. I'm looking at Encore right now to see.
Oh, so yeah, Cody. We watched Encore. I really enjoyed it. I know you were kind of in the middle. Maggie didn't really love it. I want to have a discussion about that because I really liked it. I thought it was great.
I'm excited to see where they go. So a little backstory. Like I had a hand in helping with the production of Annie before. And once you do like a show, that music is like, you want it as far away from your brain as possible. So like it wasn't the right musical for me to jump into because I don't like the musical as much as I used to because of having to direct it. I don't like it as much, but I love the idea of it. The idea is one of the coolest things out there. I think, as I think all of us or most of us, a lot of us in this community are drama kids or they've had a background in drama. I'm just putting myself in that shoes to come back and put on a production that I was in would be one of the coolest things ever. Like you reconnect. So I think, and like Kristen Bell wasn't like in it a ton, so that was fine. Like she's like the first of the
She got paid a lot to show up to those musicals and record intros for the episodes.
Right. So, but I think like they bring in the Broadway people and bring back the cast. I just thought they said it in the show. They're like, we were not an art school. Like I got cast because I was the best they had at the time. And it's the facts, like that's what a lot of high schools are. You don't have like top of the class singers all the time. So I think it's going to be an interesting, I just want to see what the next musical is. Like I want something.
They're doing Beauty and the Beast.
And actually IMDb has all of the musicals. So it's Beauty and the Beast, The Sound of Music, Grease, Annie Get Your Gun, Oklahoma, Godspell, Fiddler on the Roof, Pippin, High School Musical, Anything Goes, and Ragtime. But it doesn't have any release dates. It just has the names of the episodes.
That's an interesting set of musicals, though.
Yeah, because if you think about it, they could do like all Disney, or they could do just like certain ones. They're doing a lot of interesting ones. Like Grease out there is a very interesting choice for Disney to do.
Well, the episode is called Summer Lovin', so I would assume that means Grease, and they just had a different title. But it's the only one that's not titled the name of the musical.
Fair. I am not. That's one that Beauty and the Beast and Grease were the other ones I had a hand in, so I'm not really excited for those because again, Beauty and the Beast is different. I'm fine with that one, but like Grease. So I'm excited to see like Ragtime and Godspell and Anything Goes. I think those are really cool choices. So I'm excited to see what happens with that show.
Another Disney original that I think I'm the only one who Maggie watched a little bit of it, but I watched it up until right when we started was Marvel's Hero Project. That was really cool. It's basically people at Marvel find like either, at least in this episode, it was a young woman, like 15, 16, who was born with only one arm. She kind of became like a young spokesperson for children with disabilities, which is really cool. And they follow her story and then talk about how she's like a modern superhero, basically, how she's a hero. And then also they made her own comic book with her in the comic book. It's like 25 minutes long, really cool. Very much enjoyed that. So I would recommend checking that one out. The next thing, Cody, did you watch the Imagineering story?
Didn't get a chance to. I wanted to. Is it good?
Maggie?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's a little bit, the episode's an hour and 7 minutes, so it's a lot longer than everything else. I think that it's cool to like see the history behind it. Like obviously I know like pretty much nothing about it, and like while we were like watching it I was looking up other stuff, but they have archive footage of some of Walt Disney and some of the other original Imagineers that they edited into it, which I think is cool. And like they had the guy who created and designed the Matterhorn. And they were like with him, and they went like inside it, and they were talking about how there's the rumor that there's a basketball court in there, and there's not. There's just like a hoop, and he like made a basket, and then he was like talking about how like all of the people who've ever worked like on that ride have like signed the wall, and they go, "Oh well, have you signed it?" And he was like, "Oh no, I haven't." And they're like, "Do you want to?" And he's like, as the creator, I should. And he signs it, and it was just so cute. And they go, so the first episode is like everything that Walt Disney did. And it looks like it's going to chronologically continue from there. But I think that it's just a cool little like history documentary that really goes in depth behind the scenes at the creation of the park.
Yeah, it ends with, I mean, it's not a spoiler. I mean, it's
Walt Disney is dead.
So it ends. What? The episode ends with that part of the story where right before he was starting to build Walt Disney World, and he passed away. So the next episode is called "What Would Walt Do?" So without Walt's guidance, the development of Florida's Walt Disney World is a risky endeavor. I'm interested. I'm excited. It looks like that is also going to be 6 episodes. There are no release dates on there. But if you don't know this, which it seems like Cody kind of didn't, at the end, if you go all the way to the end of the credits, a menu will pop up that will have a sneak peek for the next episode.
Except for Mandalorian.
Except for Mandalorian was the only one that didn't do that. Everything else did do that we watched. So we saw the sneak peek of Beauty and the Beast, of the ice cream, Jeff Goldblum. So yeah, Imagineering story definitely seems to be one that looks to be pretty great. Continuing, there's another actually like behind the scenes-esque show that is coming, and I want to look that up really quick. Hold the thought. One Day at Disney is coming up, and that is coming on December 3rd, I believe. But it's going to be a bunch of like, I think like 5 to 10 minute like shorts of like different experiences at Disney World. So I think that could be really cool as well. The next original, I think this is by far the greatest thing that Disney has ever produced, even if it wasn't my favorite thing we watched today. It's going to be a clear-cut classic. It's going to fall down in the world as one of the greatest things Disney's ever done, and that's Forky Asks a Question. It's all about money, so you get Ham in there.
3 minutes long.
But it's money! It's the best. And this is great. And if they keep knocking out like a few of these, like throw out one every 2 weeks or whatever, and then you build up like a catalog of 10 of these. Gold. Pure gold. Cody, you watched this. Tell me about it.
Fantastic. I want Forky to ask all the questions he wants. There's literally when I don't want to spoil it. It's stupid. It's 3 minutes. When the quarter comes out, he's like, "With money? What?" So funny. And like Ham just gets more and more annoyed as it goes on. Like it's the right thing. Like I want Forky to have a talk show and just like annoy the guests. Like it's perfect. He was one of my favorite characters of this year that came out in movies. Like he was so underrated. I thought it was going to be awful, but now I'm looking forward to way more stuff of Forky.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be 10 episodes total. And it looks like they're all coming in 2019. So we should be seeing a lot more of Forky very soon. Maggie, did you enjoy this? I know that you hate Toy Story, but that's only because you hate Woody. So Woody wasn't in this. Calm down. Did you enjoy this more than Toy Story 4?
I mean, no, but I did enjoy it. I liked how he started it with like, I have some questions because I was made from trash literally like 2 days ago. And I enjoyed that and the whole like name play with Ham. And he was like, I'm going to say it 7 times, then I'll get it right. And of course he does not. Forky is a wonderful character. And this is a good way to use that, him, especially to teach, the young children things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
It's important to teach the young children. Another one of those originals, Pixar in real life. Again, this was another short thing. Did you watch this, Cody? This Inside Out thing? What did you think about it?
I thought it was very cool. I was not going to, and then I was just like, well, I might as well. So I enjoyed it. It was cute. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Maggie.
Everything's just cute. Like it's just basically those things. Yeah, they're fine.
Oh
yeah. It reminded me a lot of the thing that they did a while ago where they had the Doug thing where they had a real dog with like the collar and they like every time that people walked by they like had an actor with a microphone somewhere and he like talked. And I imagine they're all going to be very similar to that, but it was cute.
Another one, Cody, did you watch any of the Pixar Spark shorts?
No.
Okay, so there were 4 of these. They're all about 8 to 10 minutes long. I think the longest one was like 12 minutes. The first one we watched was called Float. I really enjoyed this. I think all of these were fantastic. It just proves that like Pixar shorts are fantastic and they're not to be trifled with. And the fact that Toy Story 4 did not have one in the theater, that is correct. It didn't. Bring your brain back. It did not have one. It was very sad. But these shorts were great. This one, Float, I really enjoyed. I don't want to give anything away because it is so short and so quick. But it packed a punch for me, Maggie.
Yeah, I thought that they were all fine. The best one was definitely was it Kitbull? Is that what it was called? Kitbull. That one was hands down the best. They're all obviously beautiful. Yeah, and they're all good and they all have, important messages and such. But Kitbull is the best one. So if you're gonna only watch one, watch that.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. Watch that one. That one was the best. Okay, and it looks like there's going to be more coming in the upcoming weeks. There's one called Loop that will be coming out in 2020. And another one called Wind. So more to be seen from those Pixar shorts. And then there was the Family Sundays thing, which we none of us watched. But Cody, did you watch anything that was not original content today on Disney Plus?
So yeah, kind of. So I popped in Monsters University for a short bit. Will say 4K on this app is actually real good. Like it is for streaming purposes. Me and Tim will not get into our. I will not get Tim all fired up with his 4K DVD over digital, but after sitting on his couch and watching in-game, he is 100% correct. But for streaming wise, I think this is the best app I've ever seen with streaming as close to quality, because Monsters University looked flipping gorgeous on in 4K. And then I did watch Remember the Titans because you know what? I don't care. I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't own it digitally, and I saw it, and I had to do some other stuff, so I put it on as background, and I stopped and watched like 45 minutes of it. Again, quality. I'm ready for Boy Meets World. I am so pumped to revisit that series. So there's a lot of not original stuff that I'm ready to go back and watch.
I'm glad you brought up the 4K thing because here are just some of. If you are a 4K fanatic like I am, here are some of the titles streaming in 4K that are yet to be on 4K disc. So all of the new original stuff pretty much was all in 4K. Both of the new movies, Mandalorian, all that. Jeff Goldblum was in 4K as well, I believe. But here are just some of the titles that are streaming in 4K that aren't available on 4K disc. One of the big ones for me is all of the Star Wars movies. The only Star Wars movies that are on 4K disc right now are Last Jedi and Solo, and every other one is there. All of the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, Force Awakens, and Rogue One is all in 4K on here. So I will definitely be watching those in 4K off this to see how that quality holds up. Yes.
I'm just curious, what was your take on the 4K streaming in your
Well, I haven't watched anything that I can compare it to yet. So
fair.
Mandalorian looked great. Everything we watched looked great. We didn't have any issues. Like we had issues with getting signed in and watching stuff, but once we were physically watching something, I had no problem with quality at all. But I do I want to watch like Force Awakens or Empire Strikes Back and see how the quality is in 4K, and then eventually when it's released on disc, compare those things. But other ones that are not on disc that are streaming on 4K here. So yeah, all those Star Wars movies. Let's see. I know there were more. I just said, so then Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. That's a huge one for me, clearly. Both National Treasure films. The Santa Claus trilogy. The Princess Diaries movies. Hocus Pocus. 10 Things I Hate About You. Free Solo. That's a huge one in 4K. That would look probably friggin' awesome. Christopher Robin. A Bug's Life, another Pixar movie that's on 4K. Both Beauty and the Beasts, live action and animated. That's definitely something I want to watch in 4K. And then the Pirates films. The only Pirates film that is out on 4K right now is the latest one, and I don't have any interest in watching that. So, and then also Remember the Titans. Your boy Remember the Titans is there. Muppet Christmas Carol, Black Cauldron, which is really friggin' random. The Jungle Book, Sword in the Stone, Up, and Wall-E. So lots of stuff streaming in 4K that is not yet available on discs on 4K. So that's cool. Maggie, back to the original question though. What's the first thing you're gonna watch that you want to watch that's not an original?
There's so much. So we're gonna watch Little Mermaid 2 after this, and probably also Ariel's Beginning. We'll see. But
I voted for Return of Jafar.
We did not vote. If you want to watch Return of Jafar, let's watch Return of Jafar.
I said, do you want to watch Return of Jafar? And you said no.
Well, that's a lie. I will watch that if you would like. Anyway, so all of those, like...
Hey, we're not Kaleb Koho watching Lemonade Mouth, okay?
Right.
I got laughed at when I said, Remember the Titans, and they're like, and the thing out of Maggie, we're going to watch Ariel 2, and maybe Ariel's Beginning. Are you kidding me?
Anyway, so all of those, like, straight to DVD sequels to big Disney movies that I haven't seen in forever. The Tangled series that I haven't seen. I did see that the TV movie, but I'm excited to watch it again and then watch the series because Tangled is the bomb. I am excited to go through and watch a lot of those Disney Channel original movies, like Lemonade Mouth, that like I watched as a kid, and just see how they hold up. Like obviously, I'm a very different person than when I saw them the first time, and so I'm excited to see how they fare now because I have a feeling it's not going to be good. Yeah, I'll probably watch Lizzie McGuire. That was one of the TV shows that I was thinking about as a high priority because I didn't see a lot of it when I was younger. Yeah, no, there's so much content, and it's like I don't even really know how to wrap my brain around what to watch next.
I 100% agree. There's a lot of content I want to watch. The big ones for me, I want to rewatch Clone Wars. There's going to be a new season of Clone Wars coming out on Disney Plus, so I'm very excited to see that. And then a lot of the Marvel television shows that, like the original Spider-Man show, X-Men. That's stuff I'm looking forward to. So, guys, we've talked a lot about Disney Plus today. I think this was magical. If you haven't seen our videos we did before, we reviewed Mandalorian Episode 1 and Lady and the Tramp, as well as the app itself. Go check those out. Those are up on the channel right now. So we will continue to bring you more Disney Plus stuff as it comes out, as it develops, as well as anything else you want to see us talk about. So that's probably going to do it for us. Maggie, where can the people on the internet find you?
I'm on Twitter at May24Maggie. You can search the Macaw since I decided to change my Twitter name when I was drunk. And also on Letterboxd at May24.
All right, Cody, what's going on Your List Sucks tomorrow?
Well, pray for me. It's going to be a rough episode, but Your List Sucks. Koho, Brooklyn Vail, Jonathan Peck, and Chris Dolman are all on the show. It's going to be a rough time for me.
Yikes!
Yeah, but yeah, you can definitely watch me tomorrow on that. And I think that is it. Yeah.
Cool. Lots of stuff going on in the world of fandom fights. So much stuff that I couldn't even tell you what matches are coming out this weekend. But there are matches coming up this weekend, I promise you. As we get closer and closer to the end of the season, things are happening. It's going to be great. So yeah, check that out. And you can find us here every Tuesday doing Multiplex Loves Movies, generally around this 9 to 7 or to 8 EST time. We've actually got a new guest on the show next week, so I won't spoil that yet, but there's going to be a new person on. Cody doesn't even know about this yet. So yeah, you're going to see some fresh faces in the coming weeks, so stay on the lookout for that. But that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That has been Maggie. That has been Cody. I have been Tim, and until next time, have a good one.